What's up, everyone? Dustin and Kris here from Solozo, and today we're talking about how to sell in the sports and outdoor category on Amazon. This happens to be a category that I sell in. This was the category I started with, so I have a nice love for this category for sure. It's also the second most popular category on Amazon in terms of the amount of sellers who sell in this category. So 21% of all Amazon sellers actually sell in the sports and outdoor category. And there are certainly some pros and cons to being in this category. So Kris, what are your initial thoughts about this?
My initial thought is seasonality. Weather's cold. How do you sell product for outdoor or sport products? And so this is where your input's going to be a little bit more better than what I got. But my first thought was like, this is going to be seasonality. So if you're going to be in this category, your selling cycle is going to be maybe not a short time, but it's going to be segmented down to like the warmer months, depending on where you're at, I guess. And then in the winter, you got to get creative with maybe outdoor winter products. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, that is a huge part of this category. And it's not every product in this category for sure. But I mean, just think of if it's a particular sports product. I mean, if it's a baseball product, then it's baseball's got a season, football's got a season, basketball's got a season for sure. A lot of mine was in the workout section of this. So, I mean, New Year's resolution.
Yeah, that's good.
January through the roof. Summertime, way less because everyone goes and does their exercise outside now. So they're not looking for equipment. Everything is there's different seasonalities for them. So certainly you need to keep that in mind when you're picking your product. I got a crash course in inventory management early on because of this. I mean, fitness. It went Christmas through the roof, and I'm like, oh, this is good. Okay, great. And then January, it like tripled after that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then of course it dies. So it's very cyclical in terms of that. So that's a great point about that. That can be a con for selling in this unless you diversify.
Yeah, and I think that's where you would probably want to do really good product research and adding seasonality to that research that you do. Like when you pick a product, know that I think in this category there's going to be a lot of seasonality because of the sporting outdoor area. People like grilling is an outdoor product. Grilling products or grilling season, I guess, is short-lived. I probably would hedge my bet a little bit and look for a product that doesn't have a lot of seasonality to it because I want to make sure that my sales are consistent or if not growing throughout the entire year. Plus for a fourth quarter, I would want to make sure I have enough inventory. And if you do sell exercise, you don't want to be out of product January, December, all those times.
That caught me off guard. I was prepared for Christmas, but I was not prepared for seriously. January is always my best month for this particular product segment, at least by a long shot. So that's something you want to pay attention to. Another con in this category would be jumping into commoditized products. I mean, a lot of the stuff in sports and outdoors there's a lot of innovation you can do for sure, but there's a lot of sellers who are selling the exact same thing. There's thousands of people selling the same, like a workout ball that you pump up. There's 50,000 of them on there, and they're all the same. So you got to be careful when you go into categories like that. Unless you've got a brand to build off of, it can be tough to go into there. But the other thing that you have the ability to do in this category is people become very brand loyal in their sports and in their workouts, and you have the ability, especially like in exercise and fitness, like my category, you have the ability to try to create an audience with other things like yourself or workout guides or workout programs or other things that you can do that are add-on benefits and get sort of like you get your community together and rally around your brand and what you're doing. So there's opportunities to do that because these products are usually a huge part of people's day. whether they're workout enthusiasts or whether they're sports, they're kids that play sports. I'll tell you, that's another big thing. I happen to have two boys who play a lot of sports. They love baseball, and they're on Amazon all the time. And they are putting stuff in the cart, and so they know their brands that all their friends and buddies talk about. So if you can talk to, if you're talking about a sport, if you can talk to the kids that play that, they're a huge part of your buyers.
Yeah, I think you want to niche down within this category. You want to go further and further and further down inside this category to find a really good niche that you can get into that's maybe less seasonality and more broad selling. So what I've been looking at recently is like outdoor yard games, like giant Jenga, or like bags or washers. Like that would be really cool, but obviously it's seasonality because not everybody's outside in January. So like if you were going to do that, you would need to have like a secondary brand for the winter, and maybe that's your exercise brand. Yeah, and then your outdoor brand, your yard game brand, starts picking up in like March and April. But that's very advanced, I would say. But starting out, I would find a category that doesn't have a lot of seasonality in it.
Yeah, but you bring up something with those yard games. That's where you can create your whole brand new. I mean, look at all these new games that have come out, like Spike Ball and like what's the Frisbee Can Jam, like that thing. I mean, you can be innovative in this space, but you're right. That's more advanced. You're going to have to really work with suppliers and set up tooling the factory to prepare, to create your thing. But there's a lot of advantages here. It's like in our previous video, we talked about home and kitchen. It's very similar. You can really diversify your product. You can differentiate your product a little easier in these categories because you can create stuff. But it's a huge, huge market. And another big pro is you're not going to have to try to get ungated. I don't think there's any limitations to sell in this category.
Yeah, I don't either.
So those are always benefits for sure. Just make sure, like always, if you're going to jump into this category, avoid the low-priced, high competition, commoditized products. I can tell you right now, jump ropes didn't work for me. Even if I was building off of a brand, it's just too hard. There's not enough keywords. There's not enough keywords that you can get for traffic that's cheap to go to those. So there's some things you want to avoid for sure. I would also probably try to avoid trendy fitness products. Don't go try to source the newest thing you see as seen on TV for fitness.
The weighted hula hoop.
The weighted hula hoop. That's right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if you do any product research right now, that weighted hula hoop's coming up. Yeah. It's done it for us every time. And then you go look at the category and you're like, oof, it's a little tough one to get in right now, a little competitive. So make sure you're careful with that. But hopefully that gives you guys enough insight to help your decision-making process. That's the sports and outdoor category and our thoughts on it. Thanks, everyone. We'll do this again on more categories.